We and our allies stand together in support of Ukraine to deter aggression and secure peace. Our countries are working together in support of crucial diplomatic efforts, not least of which, Mr. President, is your own personal commitment to finding solutions to some of the world's most intractable conflicts.
The phrase special relationship, but seen from American eyes, the word special does not begin to do it justice.
For a president keen on glitz, it doesn't get much more opulent than a state banquet. On the guest list, Rupert Murdoch and the golfer Nick Faldo. On the menu, Norfolk chicken and a special cocktail, a transatlantic whiskey sour. And the music included a James Bond medley.
Priceless and eternal. It's irreplaceable and unbreakable. On behalf of all Americans, I offer a toast to one of the great friendships, to two great countries, and to His Majesty, King Charles III, a very, very special man, and also a very, very special queen. Thank you very much.
As the president thanked the guard commander, the king warned him to watch out for the sword, a moment of levity amidst the formality. Even within the castle walls, the security around the president was tight. After laying a wreath privately at the tomb of the late Queen, they toured St George's Chapel.
It's a lot of history. It's a lot of history.
Melania Trump viewing the beauty of this 14th century building from beneath the brim of her eye-catching hat. And for a final flourish, the beating retreat ceremony. Military drills and bands filled the castle's east lawn. As the VIP guests braved a chilly British afternoon. A flypast by the Red Arrows seemed to impress the President and First Lady. Every carriage ride today, every sound, every step of this state visit has been designed to please a president. There were obvious shows of friendship. The heightened security threat may have kept the public away and this corner of Berkshire on high alert. But his hosts put on quite the show of pomp and ceremony.
He's tearing up the world order. He's a destroyer. If you look at his whole record since he entered office, this is a man who has built, created nothing.
What strikes you about this protest is the wide range of issues that people here are talking about. They say Donald Trump affects the world negatively in so many different ways.
Melania Trump land by helicopter at Windsor Castle, greeted by the Prince and Princess of Wales.
Have any particular big agreement that he wants to get Donald Trump to sign up to. This is all about maintaining good relations.
Ed Davey, for instance?
Yeah, so attendees and non-attendees are always interesting. You always imagine when you look down into that room, Clive, about the small talk that goes on, the kind of conversations and the seating plan and who's next to who, and then who makes a case for going having been invited and who decides not to go. So Sir Ed Davey, the Liberal Democrat leader, said he wasn't going to go on the basis of what was going on in Gaza. He didn't think he'd get close enough, if you like, to the president to be able to make that case, so he decided he wouldn't go, having gone in the past. The Conservative leader, Kemi Badenoch, and her husband were there. She was meeting the president for the first time as part of this, and the First Minister of Wales, Eleanor Morgan, also not there. So, yeah, an intriguing mix, because you get that mix of politicians in government and opposition, and then business leaders as well, and then the palace and the government with the joyous task of assembling the seating plan. It's tricky enough at weddings. Imagine doing it for a state banquet. All of the news from last week of Lord Mandelson, the former ambassador, and of course Donald Trump. I think the government try and make an argument, Clive, that says the deals they've managed to do this week have a long-term benefit that outweighs the bumps that the Prime Minister's had politically in the last fortnight. And then he has to hope that he enhances the relationship with Donald Trump compared with where we are now. We'll find out how it plays out tomorrow.
Indeed, should be a good presser. All right, Chris, thank you. Chris Mason, our political editor. And Victoria will have more on the state visit over on Newsnight on BBC Two shortly. Hi, Victoria.
Hi, Clive. Yeah, King Charles intervening on Ukraine at that state banquet at Windsor tonight. On Newsnight, we will analyse if that intervention will have any effect on the president's attitude towards Vladimir Putin. That's Newsnight in just under 10 minutes, BBC Two, iPlayer and around the world. See you soon. Today, the UK rolled out the red carpet for the US president. Tonight, an intervention from the King on Ukraine. Welcome to Newsnight from Broadcasting House, and we're live around the world. Hello, it's Wednesday's Newsnight. The magnificent state banquet held at Windsor Castle in honour of Donald and Melania Trump tonight is still going on. US tech giants, diplomats, show business stars all drank Winston Churchill's favourite champagne, Paul Roger. And then the King referenced the tyranny threatening Europe, which we'll come to in a moment. Outside the castle, small demos, a slightly larger one in central London, not that the president will have seen any of those in person. We'll hear from one of the demonstrators, Nish Kumar, later on, and also the Culture Secretary, Lisa Nandy. The Prime Minister will be hoping that the soft power of pageantry, that golden carriage, that red arrows fly past, more military personnel than on any other state visit before, will lead to President Trump finally getting tough with President Putin. It's 25% US tariffs on British steel to zero. Your panel to analyse what Donald Trump and the monarch said in their speeches at the banquet this evening, and to look ahead to the politics we'll get tomorrow when the PM hosts the president at Chequers. We have Elizabeth Pipco, former spokeswoman for the Republican National Committee under Donald Trump. Former leader of the House of Commons and as Defence Secretary was at the first state banquet for Mr Trump back in 2019, Penny Mordaunt. Provost of King's College, Cambridge and FT columnist Gillian Tett. And author of 4 books about Donald Trump and vocal critic of him, Michael Wolff. And Nick, of course. Hello, welcome all of you. Thank you very much for being with us. Now look, King Charles spoke first at the banquet tonight, welcoming the president and his wife, and in a calm and yet pointed message to his guest. He signalled solidarity with Ukraine.
Hasn't any new money emerged yet. So I would be, if I were the president, I would be pushing the UK on that point.
OK. Let's have a look at some of the papers tomorrow. They all have some of the incredible images from the state visit. I mean, the UK really knows how to put it on. It's magnificent. The Guardian front page is Donald Trump and King Charles in the carriage. PM banks on $150 billion investment to placate critics of the Trump visit. The Express, my respect for you and Britain. Where's the Express? It's gone. Gone, sorry. Britain wheels out the Windsors to play its royal trump card. That's the Independent, and that's gone as well. And the Sun, the special bond. There is an amazing picture, I'm sure you've seen it, of Camilla, the King, Donald Trump and Melania together. I'm going to show it you on my iPad. It's fantastic. Thank you very much to our guests. We appreciate your time. That's it. We're back tomorrow. We'll bring you analysis of what happens at Chequers. Join us then.
Yes, I understand that he's been storming around the White House saying, why couldn't the Prime Minister have waited until after this trip to fire Mandelson? Why does he have to do it now? And this just brought up the Epstein issue again and again, or as Trump always says when he says Epstein, the Epstein issue. It won't go away.
I want some of those questions answered. So if I was advising any politician tomorrow, I would lead with what the victims want.
Right. Gillian Tett, how do you think Keir Starmer should handle the inevitable? Keir Starmer obviously knows that. It would be a missed opportunity. And certainly Labour MPs and plenty of voters across the country would want Keir Starmer to raise this.
I think it certainly will be raised, but I think that the main focus will be on Ukraine, because I think that is where we're likely to make the most success. I mean, part of the problem for the president is that his foes, Russia, but also his historic allies, are not listening to him. And that is deeply concerning.
Certainly the hate that people are bringing from America as well. and imposing on us here. What terrible things are happening, particularly in Gaza, children suffering. And today's the first time I've done something like this, but